Hello, Abu. Hello, Abu.
Hello, hello.
How
Can you hear
you
me?
doing? Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Everything on your end?
Everything's good. It's good, man.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. There's actually another person also supposed to be here.
Okay.
But in the worst case, if this individual is not gonna join, then we just gonna
Oh, there you
remind
go.
he joined.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Alex. Привет, как дела?
Been better. All good though. How are you guys?
Guys, does anyone has any specific questions, or shall we do a role play?
Yeah, let's do a role play. I haven't really done much sales.
Okay, so that's your opinion, Alex.
I have a call tomorrow, but I don't mind whatever you say, honestly.
I mean, if you have a call tomorrow, then it will be beneficial for you to role play. Or do you disagree?
No. I would say if I disagreed.
No, you just didn't say anything. That's why I was thinking, okay, is he gonna say something or not? Okay, then what I will do is I don't really care who of you guys is gonna play the prospect, who of you guys is gonna play the agency, but I want you guys to basically go through the pre-frame and then the discovery.
I'll play the prospect for sure.
Okay.
Alex,
Well,
feel free to start.
so hi, how are you? This is
Hey, I'm
awkward.
good.
I've never done this before. Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's very simple. I wouldn't want to waste too much of your time. So I would like to figure out some stuff about your business in order to know if there is even a need, if I can even help you with anything. So should we jump straight into that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So, by the way, does the niche matter for this kind of stuff or not really? Or do I just ask?
Not
Because
really.
I usually ask niche specific shit. Like,
No, that's fine. Like, he's your prospect, so he should be able to adjust to your needs.
fine, okay. So first off, how long you've been a financial planner for? Do you work individually? Do you work for a company, etc.?
Okay, you stop. You don't want to ask two questions at the same time.
Okay.
It's absolutely fine if you ask this as a follow-up question on the basis that he's not going to say something that you can also touch base on, but you don't want to ask two questions at the same time.
Okay, that's good to know. Right, so how long have you been a financial planner for?
About 2 years.
2 years. And have you started working individually or do you work with a company?
I work individually.
Awesome. And may I ask how big is your client book at the moment?
10 clients.
Okay, even if you are playing a prospect, M is not a word. If you need to think about something, especially because you are currently playing a prospect in an issue you're completely unfamiliar with,
Yeah.
just feel comfortable in the silence.
Okay.
10
Most of it, I
clients.
just ask questions that are more specific. Most of the time when I have the calls, I have some background info, so I'm just gonna ask like generic stuff. Right.
M is not a word.
Right. So out of these 10 clients, let me rephrase that. How well are you managing your current clients?
Yeah, quite well. It's most we've got 5 clients recently, so the workload's coming in, but we're keeping track of it. I'm keeping track of it.
Amazing. And do you have anybody helping you with that, or are you just doing it all by yourself?
All by myself.
And are you That's nah, not the word. That's impressive. Are you looking to
That is
increase your...
absolutely wrong. You don't want to compliment your prospect.
No, really?
No, because he just got 5 clients. Cool. He has been in this space for 2 years. So what the fuck was he doing through 2 years that he only recently got 5 clients?
Okay, so I should be unfazed.
And you're saying that's impressive. So it's like he may have wasted, for example, 1.5 years. Now he actually got to 10 clients, and you're just saying to him, that's impressive.
So
It
do I
seems
then
like
dig deeper into that? Like, do I ask him? Do I dig deeper into that? As in, do I ask him? Do I try to figure out why he only started getting those clients recently, or like, do I take this as a common point?
you can literally either ask, okay, but then what has changed? How come you recently have got those 5 clients, and how long did you have the other ones for? Because that's gonna also allow you to understand what the fuck has he been doing through the 2 years.
Okay. Because so usually when I started, I call calls. I would try to like build the connection. So I'd ask them how did they become a financial advisor, etc. Is that not necessary?
Not really. They by the end of the day, yes, it gives you some kind of information you may or you may not utilize later down the line. But by the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Unless someone has a genuinely emotional reason behind it. Because then you can actually like utilize it either in negative report or even in the presentation where it's gonna influence their emotions. But like besides that, Abu, from as far as I know, may just has become a financial advisor or planner because he just likes the money, because the profit margins are high.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, yeah, in that case, my question is going to be what has changed recently that helped you receive these new 5 clients?
Yeah, so I used to work a job and I was doing the financial advising on the side. And now I've quit that job and I'm doing it full time.
So now you'll want to ask. So now you will want to ask, okay, so how long did you have the other 5 clients for? Because that is gonna also allow you to understand when the Swift changed. When did the change happen?
Okay, also how long have you had those 5 clients, previous 5 clients for?
Yeah, so for the first year and a half, they came quite slowly throughout the time. And now in the past, I'd say 3 months, 3 to 5 months, I got the other 5.
Okay, so what now? I assume that that's when switch happened, or do I ask him?
You can ask him, oh, okay, so did you move full-time 3 or 5 months ago?
Okay, well, did you move full-time 3 or 5 months ago?
Yeah, I became full-time about 6 months ago.
Okay, let's see. Okay, what has changed from when you moved full-time to now you suddenly getting 5 clients at a time?
It was more by choice because I believed I couldn't take on any more clients, so I just stopped completely. And I was happy with my first 5 clients. So when I came full-time, I decided to start taking on more. That's what changed.
So when you made that decision, what is the exact steps did you take to get those 5 clients?
I'm not sure.
Did you?
I don't.
No, don't even answer. You don't want to put words into his mouth.
So just let them
if he's not able to answer, then that's absolutely fine. Then you just move forward with questions that are relevant to what you need to know. As an example, so how many leads have you dealt with, and how many of those have converted to those 5 clients? Oh, okay. And then you said 50 leads, but then you also have mentioned that those 5 clients have been signed over a period of 3 to 5 months. So how, like 1 per month, or 3 months you've been not doing anything, and then in the last month 5 have been signed? Can you walk me through those numbers? So just so I have an understanding of your situation.
Okay, see.
And feel free to generally utilize your tonality and also even face expressions, like when something doesn't make sense, so he can also feel it. Especially because when it comes to numbers, a lot of people are gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Mainly because of ego. So
Fair.
as long as you're gonna ask the question accordingly, or even if they're gonna, as an example, say to you, I have 10 clients, there is a huge difference in between you saying to them, oh, impressive, than 10. Okay. Because one is, so very good, Abu. Come, I'm gonna give you a tap. And the other one is, oh shit. 10 is
That's
not
it.
much. I see his reaction.
I see. Okay, so how many leads have you dealt with in the span of these 6 months since you went full
Yeah,
time?
so about 40 leads, and
40.
as I said, only 5 of them converted.
Just to be clear, out 40 leads in 6 months, did you close less than 1 a month, or did you close them all recently? Can you walk me through how it all happened?
Yeah, of course. So first month was quite slow, and then next 3 months from then, I got about 4 of the clients, and then the last one came last month.
Right. So what happened in the 2 months after you got your 4 clients? Did you stop pursuing leads or
No, none of the just didn't close.
didn't close? And how many leads did you deal with in those 2 months?
12.
12. Okay.
Okay, and here what you want to do is quickly just ask him, oh, okay, so you have engaged with 12 leads and you have closed 1 of them? Because in this case, you can also, correct me if I'm calculated, you can simply, no, it's more. So his closing rate dropped down from 14%, no, 15% to 7.
We said 40, so out of the first 28, he closed 5 or 4.
So
30%.
4 clients. Yes. So from 40 clients, for 40 leads, he has closed 4 clients. Yes. And then from 12,
So what I understood of 40 was over the whole 6 months.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But...
So the last,
oh, okay.
the last 2 months was
so
12,
from
so
40,
20,
so
28.
So from 40, he has closed 5, which will be 14% closing rate. So in the last 3 months, he is engaged with 28 leads, which he has closed 4, which means no, I'm being retarded.
It's like 16%.
I think it's 15. Yeah, 15. So it means that in the last 3 months, where he has engaged with 28 leads. He has closed 4 clients, yes. So that will mean that the closing rate is at 15%. But then in the last months, it was 12 leads. And from 12 leads, he has closed 1 client. So it means that his closing rate dropped to what, 7%? Is it 7? No, it's 8, I think.
8, yeah.
Yeah, 8%. So that's a massive difference.
Big drop.
But then you can, after he told you that, you can either go in the direction of, oh, so wait a second, how come your closing rate dropped by 7% or even 8%? And then what you want to ask is, okay, so what lead generation methods are you currently doing, or are you currently utilizing?
Do I go
Especially-
that like rude, like a bit rude, like not rude, but like. So why do you think it dropped so much? Did something happen, or
That's what you're trying to establish. Because also based on his answer, it will tell you a lot. Because there will be people who will tell you, oh, the market has changed, which will be equivalent to, oh, I actually don't know what I'm doing in the business, so I'm just going to blame the market. Or people will say, oh, I've just not engaged enough leads. Okay, why not? Especially since he just dropped his 9 to 5 to pursue this full time. So why is he not doing full-time job?
So what do
Unless-
I do in case he's blaming the market?
Oh, you can just say, look, Abu, technically speaking, I know where you're coming from, but then do you see financial planners who are doing significantly better than you? Yes. So what do you think that they do differently? Because by the end of the day, I think we both can agree that they don't blame the market. Because where does it come from that you say it's the market? You just go deeper and deeper because that's possibly the pain point that you have just found.
Basically, call their bullshit and try to
Yes.
find out what they're hiding.
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
Because by the end of the day, this will be a good indicator for you. That may be the trigger. There is a chance if you're going to go deeper and deeper, you will see that they have a problem. And if you're going to go deeper and deeper, they can also admit to the fact that they have a problem. And then you have them by the balls. Because then you can generally simply ask, okay, so what is your goal, especially since now you're full-time on it? What is your financial goal? Okay, so how many clients will it be? Okay. So, Abu, with all due respect, how the fuck are you planning to quadruple it, let's say, based on his current, for example, closes that he is making per month? Because then you will not only know, okay, he has a problem, he admitted that he has a problem, but then you will also be able to position yourself as someone who is able to bring him to the financial perspective.
Right.
So do you want to try from the beginning or just from the last cut?
Let's go back to where I was. I think we were talking about
12 leads
12 leads.
in the past 2 months.
Right. So, Abu, from what I can see, from what you've told me, your closing rate has dropped over the last 2 months from 15% to 8%. Why do you think? How do you explain a 7% drop in closing rate? Did something happen, or?
Yeah, I guess I just haven't been engaging as many leads because when I took on the 4 leads, I just needed more time, I believe. The extra 4 before.
So you're saying you did not engage more leads because you didn't have enough time?
Yeah.
Excuse me if I'm wrong, but then you quit your 9 to 5 in order to pursue this fully. What happened to your extra free time?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. When I took on the new leads, I kind of just spent more time working with them.
Right. Do you think you're at your limit with how many clients you handle at the moment? Or are you
No,
looking
definitely
to do
not.
more?
I'm definitely looking to do more.
Okay, let me just ask you it more generally then. What's your goal with this? Because I'm assuming this is your focus as you dropped your 9 to 5.
No,
What's
sorry.
your
Don't say I'm assuming, because you never want to assume in a sales call. That's why you want to ask him questions. Which you can say instead of assuming, you can say, okay, Abu, then correct me if I'm wrong, or Abu, am I correct in saying?
Okay. So if I'm correct in saying that this is your main focus right now, what is your financial goal when it comes to financial planning?
I want enough to be able to sit back and retire.
Right. How much would that be in terms of clients?
30 clients.
30. Right. So how do you, with all due respect, how do you expect to triple the amount of clients if you're already struggling with time management?
That's a good question. Maybe start working with other people.
So you want to outsource. Don't you
Potentially.
think there is changes to be made before doing that?
Yeah.
Right.
Is
How
not
do
the
you,
word. If you need to think, just stay silent.
let me ask you this. How do you currently obtain leads?
Word of mouth.
Just word of mouth?
Okay,
Yeah.
then in this case, what you want to do is, word of mouth only? Okay, Abu, just so I have a clear understanding of mine, you're trying to make enough money where you can say to yourself, hey, I can retire. Which, as you just said, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 30 clients, correct?
Correct.
Which is basically quadruple of the client base that you currently have. And the only lead source that you are relying on is not even active, but it's word of mouth that I think we both agree you don't really have influence on.
That's true, yeah.
So please walk me through your logic. Because by the end of the day, look, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I'm genuinely fucking confused.
Yeah, so I was just kind of hoping that they'd come through.
Okay. How long have you been an entrepreneur for? 2 years, correct?
2 years.
Okay. Have you heard of any entrepreneur that has
Oh, sorry, say that again, you lagged out.
Yep.
have you heard of any entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, that has mainly relied on hope?
No. Yeah. I haven't. It's always calculated.
Please, if we put hope to a side, what else is there? And again, I mean this in the most respectful way.
You mean as in another method?
Yeah.
I guess that's why I'm here, to find a potential agency to work with to generate more leads.
Absolutely. But by the end of the day, why haven't you hopped on such call sooner?
Because I guess it's been going well at the moment.
Has it?
So it's been going all right.
So it was not going well. It was going all right.
Yeah.
Now, is all right something that's going to bring you closer to retirement?
No. No, but
Do you get where I'm coming from?
yeah, I understand.
But then what would you say is your max capacity? On the basis that, let's say, you will, pardon me on my language, take the time out of your own ass and take it as your actually full-time job.
As in number of leads you think I think I could take on?
Well, take into consideration your closing rate, that is pretty low, yes.
Yeah. I think I could take 20 clients on by myself.
Have I asked about clients or have I asked about leads?
Oh, I think I could take 20 leads a month.
How come? You had previously 28 and you said to me that you never were at your max capacity.
Yeah. I guess we'll go 30 then.
So really, 30 is the max. Take into consideration your closing rate.
Yeah.
So you want to roughly wait 3 years to hit your retirement goal.
Will take that long?
Well, based on the fact that your current lead generation method is, sphere of influence, that you don't have any influence about, and some months are lower, some months are higher. Let's say it's going to be 30 leads per month. With your closing rate, that's going to be 2 to 3 clients. Let's say 2 months are not going to go that well. So that's going to be 10. But then let me ask you this, are you planning to do this long term? Are you just seeing this as a side gig?
I don't want to be doing it too long term. I just want to, as you know, I'm near the end of my career, and I just wanted to make enough money to be able to sit back. So I don't want to be doing it for too long.
But will not be more beneficial if we, squeeze the lemon to its finest, to the last drop of the juice, so you can actually go into retirement comfortably.
Yeah, you got a point. Maybe I should try and take more on.
Because look, by the end of the day, granted, I'm more than willing to show you what is it we are doing, but I also want to understand that if I will, for example, bring you more than 12 people or 20 or 28, you're actually going to be able to handle them. And you're not going to,
Yeah, I'll be able to handle it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, get it over and done with.
So on the basis that I will be able to bring you to the max capacity, which based on your closing rate, it's just going to speed up your process. Because again, how long is it away from your retirement? Is it 2 years? Am I correct?
2 years, yeah.
Then I assume you don't want to, work on it 2 years. It will be better if it's going to be, for example, 1 year, correct?
Sure, the better.
So on the basis that we are going to be able to bring it to the max capacity, again, I have not showed you anything yet. I'm more than happy to do it in a second. But then, Ryan, hypothetically speaking, if pricing is going to be right, what is that we are doing is going to be in your favor. On the basis this is going to bring you to the max capacity. Is this something you will want to move forward in 6 months, 2 weeks, or today?
As soon as possible, I guess. Yeah.
So what does soon as possible mean for you?
Today.
Okay. Look, I think I have everything from my end. I'll be more than happy to just walk you through the presentation.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And then you can walk him to the presentation, and you should also bring the information that you have gathered so far. Like when you explain stuff, like for example, you know already that his main problem is time management. So you can explain certain parts of the presentation touch base on his time management issues, or how this is gonna save him time. Or that, for example, this is gonna be taken off his shoulders. Like for example, the qualification, like for example, the database.
Fair. Interesting. So, in regards to moving from the grilling of the prospect to our service, is it always like, because now you kind of just found the moment, because I was gonna ask about it and then you just kind of carried on until you kind of had the chance to do it. Does it always have to be like this? Or
yes and no, it depends on the prospect. Because here you wanted to go as deep as possible, so you can see his end, where he generally sees, okay, you're the only solution. Because otherwise, if you're not gonna do this, he's gonna tell you, oh, too expensive, or I have enough time to find someone else. But if you're gonna push him enough, where he's gonna understand, okay, that makes sense, I don't have any time to waste, then you're gonna be with the right service at the right time. Like people very often say business is a mix of luck. Honestly, when it comes to business and all the opportunities, it's a mix of consistency that is then combined with an opportunity that can then be pursued from people who have not stayed consistent as a luck.
Yeah, preparation plus opportunity. Cool. So a side question, do you get often told to, like, do people get triggered often on calls?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Especially when you're doing negative report. I had people genuinely crying on the calls.
Ah.
When this means that you're good at negative report. Because then you make people realize that it's not the market, it's not the pricing that they are dealing with, it's themselves.
Right.
And then they generally just want to work with you. And again, I don't even mean this in a negative manner. This is just, they just realize, okay, you're the only solution. Because in this scenario, for example, he was working on it for 2 years. Since 6 months, he has done basically equivalents of 1.5 years. And he wants to retire. Based on his current calculations, he's not going to be able to. So
Right.
he needs you. Probably more than you need him.
How do I deal with more knowledgeable clients? Like, for example,
data. You need to present yourself accordingly. You are not able to do You need to be very swift. You need to present all the details as soon as possible. while also not losing authority. So, for example, if they're going to ask a question, you need to deflect it and redirect.
Like, well, let's say they ask me,
yeah, just ask a question.
How long have you been doing this for? How much experience do you have?
I've been doing this for a couple of years. Nonetheless, what I will want to understand is how many clients are you currently dealing with? Because when you deflect a question, normally people forget what they wanted to ask after 2 deflections. 2 to 3, depends on the individual. If someone is trained, they just don't forget. But like a normal human being forgets that they wanted to ask something after you have deflected it 1 or twice.
Deflecting doesn't mean just ignore their question or like just rephrase it.
Not
It just
necessarily.
means answer it in a fuck off manner and then just ask them, like, basically be like, yeah, this is a nice question, but this is what's important, and ask them, right? Kind of.
There are 2 ways how, like, yes, you can ignore the question, but if you're not going to answer the question, this is something that the person is going to notice it. But if you're, for example, going to answer it partly and then redirect the call to the direction you want to redirect it into, that is going to allow you to win over the control. Because by the end of the day, if someone's asking you a question, he just wants to win the control over the call. Because I'm sure you have heard this saying before, whoever asks questions leads the call.
Yeah.
Can you give another example of the deflections?
Give me some question.
How many clients have you worked with?
Oh, we have dealt with a bunch of different kinds. But then could you explain to me what lead generation methods are you currently using? Okay, I got you. So would you say that 50% of them are coming from leads? From Facebook ads, and 50% are coming from referrals, or what are the numbers specifically? Because then the focus of the prospect is going to change.
Okay.
Okay, so basically just answer to give an answer. Doesn't need to be
more or less, yeah. Like
just the bare minimum. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Funny enough, if you're gonna try to deflect questions, you will also notice that very often unconsciously, people, especially women, do it when you touch on a topic that they are not comfortable with. They will very often try to change the topic, and you will just forget because they're pretty. Or because like you just generally just speak to them and you just focus yourself on what is it they are saying, and you're just gonna forget what your question. Fun enough, you can also train deflecting on daily, like if you're going to university, even if you're going to a coffee shop. As an example, if you're buying yourself coffee and when you're in a, let's say, a restaurant, the waiter is going to ask you, would you want cappuccino or espresso, and do you guys offer sorbet? You have completely ignored his question, but he's not going to be focused on that. He's going to be focused on answering your question.
Okay.
I mean, I do that when some uni people constantly ask me like, what the fuck you sitting working on all the time?
Yeah.
And I always say like, some stuff, and then I ask them stuff. So I've been doing that sometimes accidentally, yeah.
Yes, because your subconscious knows it. But then if you can do it actively, that's a very good fucking thing to have.
Nice. Yeah, I'll focus on that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have some advice for my sales call tomorrow? He's a bit of I'm assuming he's gonna be very know-it-all type dude. Because basically I outreached, and my outreach is like through LinkedIn. The message is something along the lines of, I'm not sure if it's relevant to you, name, but I'm studying this. Like I think I said lack
What
of
did-
credibility.
What did you say at the beginning? He's what?
He's I think he's gonna be like very cocky because basically he answered my message saying that, "Hi Alex, no, this topic doesn't concern me, but I know this is an icebreaker question, and I am down to chat." And he sent me his calendar link, which was the first. So I'm assuming he's like when you talk about lead generation, a lot of the time you're the expert just because you know some basic stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've dealt with anybody who probably, because this guy seems like he knows like some stuff, right? I'm assuming he does.
But then why are you assuming? You don't know, you have never spoke to him.
Yeah, then the call is tomorrow, so I'm asking for
If you have
general.
a feeling, that he may be someone who will try to take over the control, I will recommend you, there is a video when you go to sales on Notion and you go to 25 laws. There is a killing the killer. Or I'm actually gonna find the name specifically. Give me 1 second.
Wait, so on Notion, where exactly?
I'm literally opening it right now so I can actually tell you where it is specifically.
Okay.
1 second. If you go to sales and you go to 1 second. Dialogue, no. Yes, if you go to sales psychology, and then the 25 laws of sales mastery. Then you
Sales.
scroll, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then if you scroll down, there is going to be a video
Killing killers.
that is killing killers, yes.
Yeah, okay, I see. Awesome.
Just
It's
watch
gonna
that,
be my...
that's going to give you a better understanding.
Okay, perfect.
This is very often, you will have people who have, for example, a huge ego. And they will try to win over the control over the call. There is a certain way how you need to handle them. Otherwise, you're just going to be eaten alive.
Right.
All right, guys, the call has ended. Does anyone has any more questions?
How long have you been practicing sales, Ernest?
I've been poor.
A long time.
Well, since I was 12, I think.
Jesus. How come?
Because
What did you get?
Because when I was 12, my first job was as a waiter. And I realized, oh, wait a second. If I'm gonna do this and that, I can get more tips. And only later down the line, when I was like creating my first business, stuff like that, I realized, wait, I was always utilizing like sales tricks while being a waiter. That's why people liked me more, and that's why I always get. Because, for example, instead of just having like check boxes of what did I ask them, I generally had a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Or I always knew how to handle the intellectual barriers in a better manner than, for example, the emotional ones. Or something as simple as just making them a recommendation based on, for example, what they were wearing today or what mood they were in. I was generally just asking them. Or something as small as, funny enough, I can actually tell you guys how you can recognize if someone is a good waiter or not. If you go to a restaurant and you're finished with your food, a bad waiter is just gonna come to you and ask you, for example, do you want a dessert? Or do you want a coffee? In this case, you're just gonna say yes or no. However, If someone is experienced, he's just gonna come to you and be like, would you prefer latte macchiato or espresso? Because then he's giving you two options that you need to choose from. Obviously, like, if you know what the fuck he's doing, you can also say no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But on the basis that you don't know what this person is doing, you're just gonna choose one of the options. Or very often,
Yeah.
if I knew, for example, that there is someone who doesn't drink coffee or he never drank coffee, what I would do is just be like, Abu, would you prefer Abu, how was the food? Was everything good? Cool. Would you prefer espresso or would you prefer lava cake?
Mm.
Because I knew that the restaurant's making higher profit on the dessert. The same with wine. When, for example, I gave someone a wine card and I knew that they are going to be willing to drink wine today, I will come to them and just simply ask them, Abu, what mood are you in? Like, are you looking for something more sweeter? Are you just trying to have a romantic dinner with your wife? Should I recommend you something, or is there, a certain grape that you're looking for?
Mm-hmm. Instead of just, would you like wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that way, I remember I was able to sell this was the most fucking expensive bottle of wine I ever sold. I have sold a bottle of wine. There was only one in Germany. There were 12 of them in the world. I have sold it for 35,000.
Jesus Christ, that is insane.
And I got one sip. It was a guy from, I think he was from New York, and he came once to the restaurant. Every fucking waiter was rude to him because he looked like, like American. He had fucking shorts. He had some orange weird fucking jacket. And I was the only person that just handled him correctly. Then, after I think 1 week, he came with his whole fucking company, shook my hand, asked me where should they go. I was like, I'm just gonna give you the biggest fucking table I can find. I'm gonna pull all the tables in the fucking on the fucking terrace in the winter garden, so you can have fucking everything. And I was managing the whole fucking the whole room. And I remember I sold them the most expensive wines we had.
Yeah.
And I remember I also came to them because this kind of wines you need to decant. Do you guys know what decanting means?
No.
You need to warm up the like, so in this kind of wine, Abu, if the vine stays for a very long time, like the rest of the grapes and like shit and stuff like that is always at the bottom of the bottle. So this is something you don't want to drink. Also, with those kind of wine, the wine needs air so the aroma can come out. Like it can come out. So what you do is you decant the bottle, which basically means like the cutting of the top of it. Then you need to pour it into a decanting bottle that is just gonna basically filtrate it through the air and also filter the bad stuff out. And I remember he offered me a glass. I just looked, where's my boss?
Nowhere to be seen.
Sure. Oh my fucking goodness. Like, after that, I was never able to look at normal wine the same way. Like, not even in taste. Just even when you have smelled it. Oh my goodness. Like you could like you could, as stupid as it sounds, you could literally smell the quality.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, for 35,000, I'd hope so.
Oh yeah, he bought, this was the most expensive one, but then I told him that's the last one, and he was like, okay, what's the next one? I was like, oh, there's also one for 25, there's also one for 20, 18. He bought all of them. And by the end of the evening, he just gave me his black Amex and told me I can put myself a tip of 3.5.
Holy shit.
I was like, dear sir, 0 issues.
Yeah.
Would you like a receipt?
Yeah, the wine worked in your favor.
Yeah. See, but that's the difference, because I was genuinely interested in where do they come from, what mood are they in, do they want a recommendation, will they want a rosé, do they want a red wine, do they want a white wine? Also, after so I started with aperitif. Aperitif means basically for like it's a starter drink that is just basically warming your gut.
Then I asked them for digestive, which is basically after you eat. Granted, it's fucking bullshit, but apparently in Germany, it actually comes from French. It's generally speaking, people believe that it helps you to digest everything you eat. The only reason why you actually feel the thing in your stomach working is because the alcohol mixes with the food, and it's an eruption.
It's just an excuse. It's an excuse to drink.
Yeah.
Basically, like everything I've learned working in fucking bars and restaurants and is just an excuse to drink. Like it's just French people love to drink, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's it.
Again, but there I was able to pour them a shot for $250 per shot of a digestive.
That's insane. I don't know who is doing that.
Like you need to understand, people spend money on food, especially because he has probably just deducted it from tax. So he had zero issues spending it because it was company expense. It was a business. I think they either closed the deal, and I think half of it was his company and half of it was the other company they made a deal with, or something like that. But like they were super happy. But again, it's not like I come to him and I'm like, so Abu, do you want wine? No, it was generally, granted, it was, I think, because the first interaction I ever had with him was so good because I actually made him a recommendation. And then when he came, he literally didn't choose anything. He was like, you choose for us. Zero issues. But then what would you like to have? Like, do you guys want something that goes into a sweet direction, meat? Does anyone has any allergies? Because then they actually think I care. Like, again, but like, I didn't realize it for many, many years that I've been actually using sales. Like it was just like I just literally I just observe what do the better waiter do than I do.
Yeah.
Like why are they getting more tips? Especially when they are not women. Because like women, they just get tips. Like generally, we had women working in the restaurant because there will always be some guys that will just only go to the bar, just chat with them and just leave them a huge tip.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like most of those women, they were not able to walk properly. Like they were just literally for decoration. And they call me misogynistic, but I'm just being serious.
Yeah. No, I could see that.
Yeah, but to answer your question properly, like many, many years. But that's why you have the benefit that, you don't only need to learn from your own mistakes, you can learn from mine.
Got a good mentor.
Okay, any other questions?
No, I think I'll text you because I told you about that old client I had. I met with him the other day.
Yeah.
He tried to negotiate and I was like no.
The one you dropped, correct?
Construction, yeah. He like didn't try. He like saw if he can negotiate because he's this like 55-year-old like experienced businessman. He's Russian, so he's a bit. But I was like, yeah, no. On top of that, it was funny because he asked me how we do it with the payment because he wants to pay me from the company. I was like, fuck it, since I do law, like just give me a lawyer contract, fuck it, and then. Not only I didn't let him negotiate, I was like, oh, by the way, like taxes, like I'm not paying your fucking taxes. So we're gonna calculate when he does the contract, we're gonna calculate that he pays me that basically the price we agreed on is like gonna be netto, basically. Seems chill already. Like so basically he'll pay me more so that I don't pay fucking taxes out of the money he gives me,
That works.
Like, which is
as long as you get paid, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get because I told him what 2.7. build-up fee. I
Yeah,
didn't want to end up with like 2.3 because of tax, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so it's all good. Already the whole interactions are different than before when we worked together.
Good.
This
Okay.
time he's like, anyways, but yeah, I'm waiting for payment and then I'll probably contact you with like delivery and stuff, like with
That's
questions.
fine. That's fine. Okay.
Anyways, thanks for the call.
No, Alex, stay for a second because I need to go over one thing with you. I'm just gonna kick you. And
Been a pleasure.
Stop. By the way, there is one more call in an hour. Do you guys want the link to it?
can't
I
right
can't
now.
make that, fortunately.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
same.
fine.
Sorry, but thank you. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I'll be talking to you tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Then see you
Nice to
tomorrow.
meet you, man.
See you. Nice to meet you. Have a good one.
Bye.